And many of you know her as our technical expert, but Katie is also an author. And you're trying to bring out some things in jewelry making that we try to hide, but you're trying to get us all to make them a little bit more exposed and really make it part of the design, correct?
That's right. That's right. The whole inspiration is to take these really great components and bring them out of hiding. So you're exposing them in a whole new and more exciting way.
That's fun.
So making them part of the design.
So show us some of the examples of this that you brought with you.
Well, the first one is a piece that uses crinkled beading wire. So it's a beading wire. You could obviously cover it completely with beads, but here I've chosen to leave part of it exposed so that you really see that texture. And it also has a nice shine to it because the crinkled parts pick up that sort of metallic highlights.
And it blends so beautifully with the design. It really does.
Thank you.
It doesn't look like it's something that's out of place, which is probably so key to the design.
Right, it really becomes a part of it. And with the memory wire base, too, you can see the foundation of the design.
Okay, you know how much I love this piece. Not supposed to have favorites, but I just think this is so striking. Tell us about this one.
This one is made of a ladder stitch base. So you're exposing the beading wire a little bit between the crystals there, but then you're taking velour tubing in a whole new dimension because it's usually something that you would expect to see over beading wire, over cord, or over memory wire. Here I cut it into pieces and actually made it part of the design.
Exactly, because when you think about it, just even on its own, that's a great crystal choker, crystal necklace, but it just has so much more interest with that tubing there. So are you going to show us how you did a little bit of that?
Yeah, I'll show you how to get started. So you have 3 pieces of beading wire here, and normally you're going to have one that's a little bit shorter and 2 that are longer. And you're going to start by passing your wire through one crystal on one wire, then hold the other 2 wires together, pass through another crystal.
So what gauge wire are you using?
This is 018.
018, okay. So it's got to be pretty small to get through 2.
Right. Now we're going to just pick up one wire, and we're going to pass through opposite ends of a crystal. And this is what's going to give us the basic ladder stitch. So you're just going to repeat this pattern for the whole length of the choker.
Design.
That's exactly right. So you would, again, add one crystal to each wire and then pass through the opposite ends of the bead.
Perfect.
So once you repeat this pattern...
We'll switch.
Sure.
I'll take that. You take this.
Once you have your design then, you can bring your pieces of cut links of the velour tubing, pass your wire through, and this is my extra piece that I didn't add any beads to earlier. And this is going to create the scalloped effect. So as I pull it through the design, I've got these larger beads that are acting as markers. And that's how I'm going to get my effect. And as you pull, then you get your scallop.
Look at that.
So as you go along, each one is going to add that extra little something to the ladder stitch.
So it just gives it, I like the use of the materials and the color scheme as well.
Yeah, and the velour with the crystal, there's just something really fun about the mixing textures.
Very pretty. Well, let's take a look at some of the other goodies that you brought with us, too. So this is nice to know how to get it started. We're looking at the gold one right now. Wow. That's your evening.
Thank you. Yes. You could wear this one daytime to evening.
Oh, that's great. Now let's take a look at the other pieces that you brought with you. We're looking now at the blue piece.
This one, this one is a woven pattern using those solid rings. Now, normally you would use rings like that in a chain design, but here you're kind of creating your own chain using the weaving pattern with the suede lace.
And then the blue crystals?
The blue crystal has that peyote bail at the front, so that's something that you would normally think of as a foundation of a design, and here you're just using a touch of it to give your piece a really handmade look, and it has the exposed beading wire on the sides, the chain, again bringing all of those elements to the forefront.
And we have beautiful designs in the front. I know one of the 2 uses a similar velour piece that we used on the choker that we saw a moment ago, the other one.
That's right.
Perfect.
The velour tubing, again, you can just use that to cover the beading wire, and then I've enhanced it a little bit using the craft wire as part of the design there as well.
Just lovely. And of course, it would not be complete without something for the wrist.
That's right. Bracelets galore.
Bracelets galore, and using lots of different, I like the use of the rings in that one too, so it's perfect. Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you.
It's been fun.
Yes.
We usually at opposites, now we get to work together.
That's great.
I'll be right back.